two, one.
Welcome, lunchtime edition, 94 Feet of Life. It's the scene. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eastern Conference playoffs. Look out for the second session later this evening. We're going to talk about the West. We're going to start in the East. I got Germ. I got Jay Ham. We might have a couple guests join us, but we're just talking right now. Remember, Facebook group 94 Feet of Life, Facebook page, The Scene, THESCEN. No E on the end, but it's still pronounced The Scene. Subscribe to the YouTube, keep your notifications on so you catch all the talk. Fellas, what's going on this afternoon? We'll start down in the Bluff City. My man Jay Ham, what's happening?
It's another day in the bluff, surviving the dance mode. Then we got one more, maybe two more. But the rest will coming up on the bar tonight, but I'm not expecting that to really go beyond tomorrow. And I'm not going to kill them for either. So I'm just ready to get them rocking. We actually got all this basketball I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Swinging up to the north and slightly to the east of me, somewhere in between Dayton and Cleveland, maybe a little bit of Shaker Heights action going, I don't know. My main man, Germ, what's happening?
Hey man, just another day in the neighborhood. We're trying to provide y'all with some nice little lunchtime heat, so we can get y'all right back into the mix of everything. We got our Eastern Conference breakdown. We got the Western Conference coming up. Y'all into baseball? We got a double header for y'all. So y'all know what this is, man. 94 Feet of Life, The Scene. Big Shot, take it away, man.
All right, so Eastern Conference, the matchups are set. We're going to have Orlando and Milwaukee in the 8-1. 7-2, we got Brooklyn and Toronto. 6-3, Philadelphia, Boston in the 5-4. Indiana, Miami, of course, that doesn't really matter because there's no home court. So let's talk about that off the bat. Germ, neutral site, first time ever. This is the NCAA tournament in the NBA. No home court, all neutral site. Talk about that as we get ready to start the playoff.
This right here, we were talking about this prior to this, and we was talking about how a lot of this felt like NCAA tournament-ish. And we talked about how important it's going to be for certain small things. Just like the NCAA tournament, I think the team that has the best guard play is going to have an advantage because obviously the guards are going to have the ball the most. When it comes down to it, the best guard play, the team that plays the best situational defense, situations meaning out of timeouts, inbound plays, prevents easy baskets and those type of things, those are going to be the teams that are going to go far. And we're going to see a lot of big shot making because there's no fans. There's nobody behind you telling you suck when you miss the shot. It's just you stepping back like, yeah, I missed that. And so that's what it's going to be. So I'm looking forward to this because we got, in the words of Antonio Tarver, no excuses tonight, Roy. No excuses. You can't say nobody is scared. Can't say nobody got no problems. Can't say the crowd messing you up. When you get to the free throw line, knock them boys down, bend your knees, follow through, flick your wrists. All fundamentals. Healthy. And my loaded Lux voice. Healthy. I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to, I think the East is intriguing because I think there's three, it's really, to me, it's three teams that can come out the East. You got Milwaukee, who has racked up wins this year, last year. They got the best player in the conference. They've been playing for 2 years. They've been this very, 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 very tough regular season team. You've got Toronto, sans Kawhi, the defending champs with all the championship experience. And then you've got Boston, who might have the most variety of weapons in the conference when you're talking about Gordon, A Gordon Hayward who now is kind of rounded back into form. Kimba's knee, I think, is the X factor and all of that. I think a healthy Kimba, if Kimba was healthier, I would be tempted to pick Boston. Hint of what's coming later. But Boston has probably the most variety of weapons to score with. So Ham, in this Eastern Conference, man, is this still the Bucks to lose? I know we talked about earlier the week the confidence in the Bucks wasn't that high, but they still are the number one seed 2 years in a row, racked up all the wins. Is it still the Bucks to not to lose, but should the Bucks be the favorite?
They should be the favorite. I just don't believe they are. And more or less for reasons why we discussed earlier this week. For me personally, I don't know if they're tough enough, especially across the front. I look at Toronto, I'm like, yo, they tougher than y'all. I look at Boston, they might not be as talented up front, they're tougher than y'all. Philadelphia, when they feel like it, they can be tougher than y'all, and I don't even expect them to be around for long. Hint to later. But they should be the favorites because they've done the work in which it takes to get to that point. When you go through, what did they win? 60 plus last year. They get another 60 this year. We get back to back 60 win seasons. And as we mentioned the other day, one of y'all mentioned the other day, it almost reminds you of those Cleveland teams that went back to back a decade ago with 60 wins and then get to the finals each time. You know, so it's theirs. If you want to say it's theirs to lose, that's fine. I'm like, they're the favorites, but I think Toronto is better. That's just how I personally feel. I feel like they're a better bat. They're tougher. They have the cachet of winning. They have the cachet of beating you to win. So what you gonna do? It's pretty much the same for the Bucks. It's the same thing as it was last year for me. Show and prove. If you bout that, show us. And then let's talk about it.
And I'm gonna swing this back to Germ because I know Germ has kind of been on leading this charge lately. My issue with the Bucks is I feel like it's a great the way they play is a great regular season style. You catching somebody third game out of 4, the second game of a back-to-back, the way the Bucks play can be overwhelming. But if I got time to plan for it, I got time to really lock in on it, I can find ways to beat it. Now, there are very few teams to me who have the personnel to do it, which is a whole nother issue. But the Bucks don't change anything. They gonna play their way. It's your job to beat it, which to some degree shows how well they execute it because they continue to beat people with it.
Right.
But in the course of a 7-game series, I got time to dissect it. And I got time to look at it. I don't know. So I am not convinced on the Bucks. Jerm, I know you've been not convinced on the Bucks for a while. What are the people not seeing that they should not be convinced?
Well, it's the playmaking aspect of this. Shout out to my guy KG from the group. He asked about Miami. We're gonna talk about Miami in a second, KG.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely get to them. But with that being said, first thing is when a team like the Bucks walks into your arena, it's two things that you want to prevent. You want to keep Giannis out the paint, and you want to make their jump shooters shoot contested jumpers. Those are the two things that you want to do. You're not really worried about Giannis posting up because he doesn't have the moves and the skill set yet to be able to do that consistently. Brook is not going to post up very much because you get a guy with a good center of gravity and you put him guarding Brook, that's going to be another problem. Robin is probably their most physical player when it comes down to being in the mud and in the trenches, but he's not going to play a lot. And now they got this Joker shooting threes too, so it just takes away from another big 7-footer away from the rim. And altogether, man, I look at the Bucks. I think defensively, they swarm the ball because they play small with Giannis playing at that 4 spot. They play small, and that helps them be able to
Mhm.
recover. Giannis with his length is good with playing safety, like we talk about with Mike, with LeBron, with some of the great shot blockers we've seen coming from the weak side. So moving forward, I don't think that defensively they're going to be able to load up on people the way that they have. The guard play is inconsistent. The two best players who have the ball the most are not the ideal playmakers for this basketball team, and that's Middleton and that's Giannis. I think both of them are C plus or lower playmakers at best. And then we got the white Dante, man. He seems like he's their best playmaker. Seems like he's
Yeah.
the most consistent. And it's just certain small things. And it feels like sometimes, I don't know if y'all gonna agree with this. It feels like White Dante is also the most mentally tough on their team when you watch him. You don't see him lose his emotions like we got Giannis headbutting people and all this other stuff. And we got, I mean, Giannis out here playing Boyka, shouts out to Undisputed. He out there doing the Boyka headbutts and junk. I don't know what's going on. I just don't like this basketball team when they go up against the elite competition in the Eastern Conference, who are going to be able to put bodies in front of Giannis and make Chris Middleton work for 48 minutes. If make Chris Middleton work, make that man have to take rhythm jump shots, meaning crossover, hezzy, in, out, step back, make him do all those different things. Because if you let him catch and shoot, that's where he's at his best. So those are my questions. Those are the things I question.
So to KG's question, Miami. Miami is definitely the fly in the ointment. Miami making the Eastern Conference Finals would not surprise me.
They
Because-
tell Milwaukee too.
Right. Reason for that, because if Miami gets past Indiana, they would play probably Milwaukee in round 2.
Right.
And Miami can junk up the game. They're gonna play tough. They're gonna play right up under your knee. It's gonna be a lot of holding, a lot of shirt grabbing. So a lot of that space and motion that Milwaukee likes to do. Miami gonna make it ugly. They gonna make the game get into the low 100s. Miami is the fly in the ointment. I think if there is a team that can do something outside those three, Miami is it. Because that's not a fun series to play. I would not really be looking forward to just the way Miami plays.
And I'm gonna add this to this big shot, then I'm gonna pass it to Ham. Miami is the one team that they can switch everything.
Mhm.
Bam actually can check Giannis in a high screening role or in a one-on-one situation. Bam has the body to be, because he can't bully Bam going to the hole. He try that with Bam, Bam gonna send his shit to the third row. And it ain't gonna be, and we just being real. Miami has all of the little pieces and all the things that's gonna make them work. They can't leave Miami shooters, because Miami, we seen even in that game that they lost the other day when Miami and the Bucks played. I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Miami was shooting the cover off that rock for the first quarter and a half, first quarter. It just came back to the second half where they needed a go-to guy to get them some tough buckets to keep them out of that stretch they couldn't score. It's gonna happen with young players. Tyler was I don't know what Tyler was doing in the second half. He just started throwing the ball to everybody that was in a Bucks jersey. I don't know what he was doing. Then Nunn was acting like he didn't want to shoot. I didn't know what was wrong with him. And then, not to mention, Bam. I mean, Bam is just this is a different matchup, man. This is a sign me up series. Again, I'm here for this because I want to see what Spo says he wants to do against this team. Spo gonna probably bring some zones out. He gonna put all types of stuff on the. We may see a boxing one on Giannis in that bad boy. Seeing this is the year of the boxing one. Shouts out to Dame, man. Shouts out to my boy Dame Lillard.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Dame this evening and how that whole
thing. Hey, go ahead, man.
We definitely gonna hit on Dame this evening.
This nigga know Miami, man. And we mentioned the guards. I like the guards better than Milwaukee's guards. First off, they're babies. You know, so they still young. So they can buy beer, you can buy cigarette, you can smoke. If you want to smoke, whatever you can. You know, this is in ordinary circumstances. You just have for like a hypothetical sense, you're walking with an advance tonight or advance as in I still think must be like in a conventional scenario. This here is conventional. No fans. Nobody in the house with the tops and whatever cool style of your game that they, in terms of the cutscene. That's it. Very few people watching, but they got no voices. So you put a young man in a team who has no levels in GL. That's gonna fuck those who ain't cool for the uncool. You know what I mean? But with that, that's like this playoffs can like be like the greatest overrun ever. Just for how it looks. You know, so there's nobody there. There's no fans they're kicking to the plate that makes it like, okay, this just lights up the series even more, you know, with intrigue. Where you look at one that probably will be a sweep of five, but hey, in this scenario, you never know what can happen. It might get 5 or 6 competitive out of it. That's good for us. That's good for the culture in general, because we just want you to be open. But it gives us good enough to study and learn from and build for the next year.
Now, the team,
Go ahead.
the mystery meat team, Philadelphia. You know, you go to cafeteria on Thursday. We ain't quite sure what that is. We ain't quite sure. Look like meatloaf. Could be Salisbury steak. We ain't really sure. We ain't really sure. We talked about the Sign Me Up series, and I just have this feeling. I don't have any real data to back it up. I think Philadelphia is gonna make Boston's life a little bit harder than we think. And maybe it's because I'm just such a believer in Joel, despite the suicides and salads. Cause I really feel like Joel could absolutely dominate that series. And without Ben Simmons, I really hate the whole they better with Ben Simmons thing. But I think the spacing will be a little bit better for them. I'm not picking Philly to beat Boston, but I am going to say I think Philly makes that at least a 6-game series. I think that series goes longer than it probably should if you were a Boston fan.
See,
Boston's champion, it wouldn't shock me. Because Boston can go funny child sometimes. That would definitely shock me, but I still like him with 5. It can be a hard competitive 5, but I'm trying to draw as much interest as I can for Philadelphia as possible. Like, Joel is that, I'm cool with that, but like, beyond that, I don't have a lot of faith in it. And I tried to. I even tried to before the bubble. I'm like, yo, they still can get out of the East. I tried to convince myself, but I guess being quarantined and just going to working at home made me think even more like, these motherfuckers ain't going nowhere. What am I talking about? You know, but I don't mind being wrong. That's all I say with that.
Austin's issue for me is it ain't Al Horford ain't walking through that door. He plays for Philadelphia. So if Joel decides that he wants to play back to the basket, jump hook in the lane, dream feet, sweet double shimmy shake, hesitation, ball fake, lay the ball in with the left or the right hand, Austin ain't got no answer for that. What Jaylen Brown gonna come down there and do? Foul him and make it an and one? What Jason Tatum gonna do? Just be sitting there looking, sitting there like this? Like that's all that's going. I mean, what? I mean, I'm just getting ready. And that's another thing. Keeping them out of the paint. A lot of teams don't like going to a lot of these elite guys who like to attack the paint do not attack the paint a lot against Joel Embiid. say what we want to say about suicides and salads, but they be going down there throwing up the floater, and they be like, "Ooh, let me get out the way." They get the, I'm just being honest. This could be one of them series where if Boston's jumpers are not falling, they're gonna have to call Carson Edwards. Hey, can you come in here and throw some flame for us for a minute? Because we need some help. They're gonna have to warm him up off the bullpen. Y'all like baseball? Hey, I need a relief pitcher. Carson, you ready? It may get ugly, man. I'm really concerned about jump shooting because I think y'all both will agree with me. Boston is not a consistent jump shooting team.
Hell no.
No, not.
And if you can't make consistent jumpers, that means the 15-footer and the corner threes and the wing threes when you open, which Boston does not do. Them is three jump shots that Boston don't make consistently that you have to make against Philadelphia.
And you got to make them get in work, and they make them last year either.
Man, that see, that's tough. And then
Yeah.
as good as Jason Tatum is, big shot, I'm gonna pass it back to you for this. As good as Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum a bona fide number one option in the NBA right now? Or is he like a 1B?
As of August 14th, 2020, the answer is no.
Okay.
He could. I think he can grow into that.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk about this moment. No.
Right.
But
He's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah, he hasn't had a great bubble to either. He hasn't. It's been okay. It's been all right. It's been all right in the bubble, but I think that goes again to the point. Boston is the better team.
All right.
Philadelphia got the best player in the series.
And that
best
matters.
player in the series on the other side. Which means that's why I think this series could go longer than it should, because I think the best player in the series, very rarely does the best player in a series get drugged. Or does the team with the best player in the series, really does that team get drugged? Now they can lose the series, but really does the team with the best player in the series get drugged? Which is why I don't think Boston's going to drag Philadelphia.
Because they know they're going to be good for a game or two anyway. Especially at the caliber that Joel is, where he can just flat out just be in the zone and take over everything.
Right.
43, 19 boards, 4-5 blocks. He good.
Right, because Joel's going to have Joel Embiid is good for 140 and 20. Like every series. He did it to Toronto a couple times last year.
Right.
So
make post play great again.
Make
my Donald Trump boy.
Make PPG.
Hey, if Joel show up, like I think we all agree on that. If Joel show up and give us that, we got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. That's just that simple. Now let's go to the defending champs.
The defending champ is the only question I have about the defending champs. Are you going to be able to score consistently enough to win games? They're gonna bring the intelligent, they organize, they're gonna play defense.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time where not having Kawhi might show up. Because now who's gonna be the guy, as Jeremy talked about, Jay's alluded to, that finishes a close game for you? Tie game, 20 seconds on the clock for the series.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like Siakam, as much as I like Lowry, as much as I like Van Fleet, last year we know what time it was at the end of a close game. The braided up pimp was getting the ball 20 seconds left on the clock, end of the game.
Yeah,
now you got to do it without him. And I think as much as I really like Toronto, I think not having the real finisher in Kawhi might be one bridge too far. But I will say this, and I've said this before. Toronto gets out this East and wins this chip. Y'all can have the 87 Lakers. Y'all can have the 96 Bulls. If Toronto wins this chip, that's your greatest team of all time. Because the circumstance of the last 2 years have been unbelievable. But I just think
they didn't fold.
this is where without Kawhi shows up finally, despite the great season they've had. Jay, what you think?
This is kind of what I like, just in general with the double asterisk, and them not being a bad thing in terms of labeling the playoff in general. Because I'm looking at it like, yo, they can work everything up. And speaking of Toronto, they can work everything up and make it making money to that point to where in this particular scenario, this is favorable for them. Because again, they still had a chance at this before that. They don't have it closer. But also at the same time, when I go back to game 6 Oakland, in the last 6 minutes in Oakland, Kawhi Leonard did not score a basket. And
That
they
is
still
true.
got out. They still found ways to get out. You know what I'm saying? Dave Murphy and Bud go do their thing. But these 2-7 series on both East and West sides, that shit is walking, man. I like these matchups for real because Brooklyn, yo,
Right.
Underman with, you know, the run champion that they got put together, put the rest of their bench together. Few dudes, one of those dudes I ain't never heard of before until he got to the ball. I can't even pronounce the name. So y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the French brother.
Yeah, the
French brother.
You know, like, where y'all find him?
Right.
You know, but he coming to hoop. You know, so they have no his house money. That's why I like Brooklyn. You know you get Kevin back next year. You know you get Kyrie back, and you still got the people that you got. And where the hell is DeAndre? I ain't seen DeAndre since before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's a good question.
They packed them all up.
Jared Allen played solid. You know, he's been Jared Allen. You know, who else they got over there with them? One of my Memphis guys, Chris Kills and Jeremiah Martin, when they get time, they don't compete. You know, just Joe Harris. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, they got hoopers. And they can make this real popular for Toronto, even though Toronto got some people going to make this too. They're going to give out a clock. They drafted very well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at that one as being a good 5-6 game series as well. Because LeVert, especially a series like this versus Toronto, he's one of those that can go get your game. Just like
LeVert win you a game.
last night. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's good enough. And combine him with Spencer, they can get you too. If they snatch it off like that. So I still like the champs. I still like the champs in the series. I still like the champs coming out of it in general. It's just gonna be a different kind of fight than what they had to deal with last year.
I think I will make the predictions of a couple of these series. I think we get the Bucks and the Magic. I think Bucks win that 4-0. I don't think the Magic get a game.
Yeah,
I think the Raptors versus the Nets. I give the Nets a game. If they have a shooting performance like they did the other night, Toronto just gonna pack it up.
Right. I give them one. That's cool.
Celtics versus the Sixers. Give me the Sixers in 7. The longer it goes, the better it is for post play. The shorter it goes, the worse it is for post play. Yo, and then for my sign me up series, the Heat and the Pacers. Give me the Heatles, and let me get the Heatles in 5 games. I think Indiana will get a game. I just don't believe in Victor Oladipo right now coming back in the bubble.
Yeah, I'm not a Vic. Yeah, Vic still, I think is still coming back off the injury. I think he's still not quite hit stride from the injury. And I think that the bubble TJ, I think that was fun for a little bit.
Yeah, it was
It
nice
was
while
fun.
lasted.
It was decent for a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all get y'all predictions in too. So Big Shot, go ahead. You go next.
so
I'm interested in what you got.
So I got Toronto. I got Toronto and Miami in these.
That's what I get.
I think
KG got him in there too.
KG picked that too.
KG picked Toronto and Miami for the
Hey, I'm in the right.
I can see
I'm in
see
the right.
KG picking that.
I'm in the right company because KG be picking right a lot, so I'm good. So yeah, I got Toronto, Miami in the East Final. I think Toronto will beat Brooklyn pretty comfortably.
Hey, shout out
Boston.
to Trav in the comments. Trav in the comments was like, "No, give me Boston."
Boston. I'm gonna tell you something. Boston has beat Toronto, I think 3 out of 4 in the regular season, 3 out of 4, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think I liked in a series format. I like Toronto because of all the stuff that they can do and the adjustments they can make and the different combos they can throw at you. So I think even though Boston has been a tough matchup for them, I like Toronto. And I just think if Miami beats Indiana, like I think we are going to, they're gonna be biting Giannis' kneecaps. It's gonna be shirt pulling. It's gonna be cheap fouls. It's gonna be 1999 all over again in Miami. It's PJ Brown slamming Charlie Ward on the floor. I think Miami gonna make that thing a street fight. And if it turns into a street fight, as J Ham talked about, I don't think the Bucks tough enough to get in a street fight with Miami. So give me Miami. So give me Miami and Toronto in the East. And Jay, your turn.
You done this time still on the Miami roster. Hell no, they ain't winning that street fight. That's not a street fight. But in ordinary circumstances, especially with the playoffs, I would normally lean toward chalk. Just kind of go with the best, and it's pretty much just gonna come down chalk. Nah, this one, fuck that. We probably be chalk for the first round, with the Bucks at about 5. They'll choke one away. Raptors no more than 6. I don't want to see 7. Who was 3-6? The Boston Philly. Jeremy had a point. The longer this thing goes, the better for Philly. Also, you got to be like Fiend on the Maverick soundtrack. You can't fuck around. You got to you got to go at these people's throats, man. You know what I'm saying? For Red Light Jay Taylor. All the question is asked. You need to solidify that in the bubble. This playoff right now. From now to, if you're granted and blessed to extend your season through October 13th, which is the day of game 7 for the finals, you got to do that, and it got started. I still like the season about 5. So I go ahead and give 5. 4 matchup, I'm with y'all on that one. It's like, that could be intense with the Heat Pacers. I'm going to give the Pacers 2, but I'm really thinking 5, and I'm going to say 6. Just because I like Pacers. I like David McMillan, I like TJ, I like Big. I like the rest of the crew, they got the mayor and the presidential dude, Malcolm Brogdon. 50-49 got to give them his props. But they don't beat the Heat more than twice. If they even get it once. We they get it more than once for that matter. For the conference against the finals, in ordinary cases, those traveling from Milwaukee back to Miami, I would go with the Bucks in about 6 games. Fuck the Bucks. Give me the Heat in 6. They don't even go to Heat 7. They can fuck y'all out. Because I'm on this narrative now. It's like, we just got to get. Big Shot, you know this. How hard we was on Virginia. when Baltimore County took them out. And we were like, yo, y'all don't even deserve to play on CBS when they put y'all games on. Y'all need to be on public access somewhere. Then they got to the Sweet 16 and they were like, yo, we doing this though. We finna hoop. And then when they got to the Final Four and they cut down against that Monday night against Texas Tech, we were like, yo, they did it. You know, that's what I want to do for Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, because of how y'all lost last year, because y'all had y'all league MVP, best defender, all first team, all NBA defensive dude, not guarding the best player in Toronto. I still got out with y'all about that. Gotta fix this shit. And until then, I'm going with the Heat. I ain't even giving you a basketball reason why. I just don't like y'all because of that.
Yeah, I just think Giannis has to in a series. He has to do so much, and it's not even a criticism of his game. It just feels like he has to be so good every game.
It's unfair to him.
And Jerm has talked about this because if you remember the series last year when they played Toronto's guards essentially eliminated the Bucks guards about halfway through that series. Van Fleet, Lowry, and Norman Powell essentially muted Bledsoe, Hill, and the president. Just completely eliminated them. And then it became Giannis versus this in front line, and they just ran people at him. They just like, you gonna deal with Big Spain, you gonna deal with Big Congo, you gonna deal with Siakam, you gonna deal with Kawhi. We just gonna run 4 people at you. The guards have been eliminated, and now we're gonna play you 4-on-1 on the front line. And I just think Miami.
They tried to beat them with 7. 7 dudes.
Yeah, they beat you with 7 people. And now they making up people like Chris Boucher and Matt Thomas and Terrence Day, just making up people. So I think this is funny though that we have us 3, KG, and I'm thinking about the group. I don't think anybody has picked the Bucks to get out the East, which is really interesting considering like they the clear-cut number 1 seed. It ain't nobody picking them.
Because they got that, because you know what it is too? This is another thing too that we got to talk about. If your guard play not consistent at all like this, that make it even harder for Giannis. That make it harder for Middleton. Middleton still is at a stage in his career he need to be set up. Transition threes on the wing. You said it last week. You said, hey, he's really a wing player. Like you said he's a wing player. Okay. But I'm gonna give y'all something else. I'm gonna get my MJ bag for a second since he ain't here. Giannis missed on average in that Toronto game. He missed about 3 or 4 layups a game in that series.
Yeah.
I'm talking about right by the rim, and it was just like he wanted to play ball, but it didn't go in the hole like that.
Y'all gonna get off Giannis' accent, man. Y'all really gonna lay off that man's accent.
Yo, when Trey, he I mean, that's how it was though. He was right at the rim.
He heard footsteps that wasn't there.
And even that, just Kawhi being there as a defensive presence. You know, Big Spain just keeping his hands up. He misses a lot of layups around the rim. If I bet you if we went to advanced analytics, we would see kind of them Russell Westbrook type of numbers where he's at the rim for 5.5 shots and he's making 1.9 or some crazy shit like that.
Oh, I'm going to look. Just a little while. I'm going to laugh.
Hey, and like I said, just looking at stuff like that in general, that's the reason why I'm really skeptical about him, because I don't know if Giannis is gonna ever have certain parts of his game that are gonna make him the best player in the league type KD and LeBron type thing. He doesn't have any moves. He knows one speed as well. Different speeds helps you when you're that big anyway. He only know one speed. All I get the ball and I go. That's literally what he do. That's, so hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't nah man, I can't pick them. Give me Miami over them in the second round. You can give me Miami and you can give me the Raptors. Like we gonna double down on that because low key, I think those are the two teams in the East with the best guards. And the
Yep.
best guard play will win. I believe the best guard play in this entire thing is going to win because you're telling me the people who handle the ball the most, the people who make the decisions, are the people who I'm going to trust more than anything. Kyle Lowry is a solid decision maker. Solid decision maker. Fred VanVleet don't make bad decisions often.
Oh,
Norman Powell makes good decisions for the most part.
Yeah.
You're talking about guys who make good decisions. And then you got Air Congo who could still hit the 15-footer. He's still gonna be at the rim waving his fingers. Big Spain just gonna stand there like a log, like this. That's all he gonna do. He just gonna stand there like this. And then when they get a foul called on him, he gonna, man, that's the fastest he moves is when he get a foul call on him.
He gonna be Spaniard about it.
Yeah.
I know all too well.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, I'm not calling no grown man Spicy P, so y'all can get that out of here. His name is Pascal Siakam. If you call him, that's why. Look, Big Shot. That's another reason why I watch the game on mute because I can't do this.
Because you don't want to hear Because you don't want to hear that man get called Spicy P.
Don't call that man Spicy P.
Ain't no man supposed to be called spicy any damn thing. Spicy chicken sandwich or something. Don't get you one of them nuts, No, man, no. That's a real Cedric the Entertainer moment right there. No. You're a grown ass man. Are you spicy? Yeah, wrong with you. He hooping though. You know what I'm saying? I like he one that's real hard to not just go watch him because he do some everything. He go get his buckets. He check up on defense. He making money. You know what I'm saying? He go after it, man. And then to see his improvement just over that 5-year stretch.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, he earned it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't do nothing. I'm not calling him no fucking spicy. I give him his props,
We got some comments here real quick. So Mo says, I know this is Mo. Mo, like, I bet folks stop making fun of his accent when he in Golden State. I bet they will too. Because he ain't gonna do no talking. He ain't gonna do no what? Steph just give me the ball and I go.
Because them mother fools will cry. They're gonna be too busy crying to make fun of them. I'm gonna be making fun of them.
Hey, and then the corporate of the Giannis talk says, y'all need to stop with the Greek freak talking. No, you started it. And if I gotta share, Trav said that. This is the corporate of this.
So Trav can start it, but we can't say nothing about it. Oh, that's how that works.
We can't.
Okay.
Yo,
That's how that works.
And then Mo asks, he said, "Are we counting LeBron in the best guard play?" Mo, you're gonna have to stay tuned for this evening.
Mo,
I got
this
some smoke
evening
for you.
Hey, this evening this evening we're gonna talk about the Western Conference because there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
I tell you this before we even get there. That dude that went for 154 in his last 3, that's prime indicator that this guard shit is real.
Yeah.
I mean, the man went for 154 with no overtime. He's doing this in regulation.
Hey, you want to know something funny? I just want to say this and add this to that because we don't want to talk about Dame too much. We got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight with Dame because I'm going to tell y'all right now, that fourth quarter he played was crazy. I don't care if you talk about, listen, if you watch that fourth quarter, we was talking about the fourth quarter amongst ourselves. That fourth quarter was ridiculous. That was one of the best fourth quarters we seen in the bubble from a guard outside of the Devin Booker game against the Clippers. On both ends of the floor. Hey, and that's 2 games in a row that Dame did close the game out on defense after he scored 40 plus.
52 fourth quarter points.
Right. Yeah.
in
So
the last
tonight,
3 games.
again, make sure y'all got your notifications on.
Nigga, shooting 50%.
Have your
Fuck.
have your notifications on. Probably about 7 Central-ish, about 7 p.m. Central-ish around there. Have your notifications on because we're gonna get into the West because the West got 4 really intriguing series.
Hell yeah.
They got
Hey.
4 really.
I just throw this other advertise out there. Your 7 seed in the West has 2 dudes averaging 30 in the bubble.
Yeah,
And one
we're
of
gonna talk
them
about
30,
that.
10.
Yeah,
One of them 30, 10, and 9-9. I'm gonna leave the rest alone.
yeah.
Hey,
So y'all,
Mo said delicious. That's another one of them names that they be talking.
See, entertainment moment. That's actually what sparked the said the entertainment moment, the original one.
Hey,
No damn dude, delicious.
hey, Mo is watching Kings of Comedy right now with us in the.
Gotta be.
He definitely watching it. He watching Kings of Comedy with us in the background. I know it. I know.
That's the only thing. I mean, like I said, man, this dude, man, he be hitting me with Chris Rock references in the middle of film sessions. And I'll be like, what?
You know, I catch this shit too.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But look, y'all, we're gonna wrap this up again. Keep your notifications on. Subscribe to the YouTube. About 7 p.m. Central-ish tonight. We're gonna be back with the Western Conference preview. Hopefully our man Trav can join us. Hopefully our man MJ can join us because we need more bodies for this Western Conference preview. Western Conference preview gonna take a little bit longer. We need some more help with this one because it's a whole bunch.
I plan on going past my bedtime for this one. So yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, we're gonna keep Jay Ham up past 8 for this one. But y'all, thank you for tuning in. Remember, if you're on Facebook, 94 Feet of Life, the Facebook group, tell a friend about it. Facebook page, The Scene, the SCEN. Subscribe, notifications on. We'll see you tonight about 7 p.m. Central Time. Peace out.